Okay, let's move on to Nasarawa State. We welcome Governor Abdullahi Sule. You have 4 minutes to talk to investors about why they should look at your state.
Thank you very much. I think you have been talking about the 4 minutes. I don't know if you ever got it.
No, nobody's doing the 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Please try.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos, and all the other colleagues of mine, the governors, honorable ministers, Your Excellency, the wife of the Governor of Lagos. Let me stand there on the existing protocol. Let me join others, the Governor of Lagos, for thanking you for inviting us. As a matter of fact, the presenter said that you took it upon yourself to ensure that you even call everybody. So for me, I know you have called me about 3-4 times, to convince me to be here. So I think you have done a fantabulous job for that, and I want to thank you sincerely, for what you have done. I'm not going to repeat what an investor needs because of my background. First, I returned to Nigeria working for an oil company in Houston, Texas. And during that period, we look at Nigeria actually as an oil country, not even remembering that Nigeria is really a gas country. So when I came with that experience, going to be a governor to be able to do that. Then after being the managing director of African Petroleum for 6 years, I understood, again, the importance of Lagos, because all the oil companies had their headquarters right here in Lagos. That's why I call you my landlord. Next is actually the opportunity, that I had with the Dangote Group, where I was a group managing director. And then we had the opportunity of going to about 11 countries looking at cement and agriculture. And so I understood the challenges, of going from one place to another in order for us to understand the challenges of investors and what investors need. Those are the experiences I have carried into Nasarawa State. So on arrival in Nasarawa State, I actually went with a document which was prepared by KPMG. Maybe Kulle Alebute is somewhere here. Let me thank him for preparing that document for me, which we use in understanding the areas of competitive advantage for Nasarawa State. We didn't want to just go into everywhere. We wanted to look at what are the areas that are going to be of competitive advantage for Nasarawa State, rather than just saying we are going to do ICT, we are going to do tourism, we are going to do that. So that document prepared us and helped us to be able to come up with another document, which set up our investment company. So our investment company is actually a one-stop shop. And for you to understand the ease of doing business when it comes to Nasarawa State, when I came into the state, we were about number 32 in the country, because people saw us mostly as a state, mainly, for civil service. The mentality about that is wait for federal allocation at the end of the month. Once you receive it, you share it, pay salaries, this and that, everybody go to bed. And this is a state called State of Solid Minerals, which means you have all the 7 critical minerals that you are looking for in the world today, all in Nasarawa State. So what we did was to come up with that. So what did the investor need? Again, similar to my experience with the Dangote Group. So what we did, remember, today we are all celebrating the oil refinery at Lekki. In reality, that refinery, when we were there, we wanted to set it up in Ondo State. It was not even meant for Lagos. It's because of the few challenges that were being faced there that it now relocated to Lagos. That Sango Babolu is actually so excited now. And if I knew he was going to be governor, then I would have said, okay, no, let's go to Nasarawa State instead of Ondo State. So those are the challenges you face. So why did Lagos State had all these advantages and all that? People actually are not looking at that. We came in, again, just like the governor of Abia State said, not to compete. As a matter of fact, I came in to invite people like the governor of Lagos that is using his sense of not looking at the other states as competitors, but as partners. Because we build all this based on partnership. Today he's talking about building a hub for agriculture, but I know there is no land to do true agriculture in Lagos. Therefore, the land is in Nasarawa State. So we go into partnership. Today, the biggest rice company, both in agriculture by Olam, is in Nasarawa State. Today, the biggest sugar company that you have is actually in Nasarawa State, owned by Dangote Sugar, 68,000 hectares of land. If you take 68,000 hectares of land, you are taking Ikoyi and Victoria Island put together. So for that reason, we will not compete with Lagos. We will not supply the material to Lagos. And no, I'm not even inviting the other investors. I'm inviting Lagos to come and be partner so that we can go ahead with that. So that's the direction that I'm going. You see, and I think this is the way, to go. My brother, our chairman of PGL, has told you that it takes him 40 minutes now to go from Owerri everywhere else. It doesn't matter even if I fly flyovers. It will take us nothing less than 2 hours to drive to other places. The reason is because of the size of the state. We are sitting on a 27,000 square kilometers of estate. And what do we have? Agriculture, mining. So when I came into Nasarawa State, we were just called State of Solid Minerals with no solid minerals facility whatsoever. So what did we do? We went ahead and went into a partnership with the federal government because the licenses for solid minerals are actually allocated or issued by the federal government. But the land belongs to Nasarawa State government. So we say, okay, if you want to come with your license to go through our land, to go through the solid minerals, we need a relationship with you. So we came up with an executive order and then a law to back it up by saying that anybody who is mining in Nasarawa State must also process in Nasarawa State. By coming out with that law, today we have the biggest lithium processing plant in Nasarawa State. We have now one bigger than that about to be commissioned by the president. Again, that one that I told you the biggest today is called Avatar, is 3,000 tons per day. The other one is 6,000 tons per day. And that's why for the period that we are talking about since we came, we have attracted in solid mineral and agriculture and in the area actually of real estate, we have attracted over $2.3 billion in investment, coming into the state. But we must show seriousness on our own part. And that's why last month we had our own investment summit. We started, actually, we had our own 3.0. We had to go faster than Lagos because we want to be their partners. So we knew they were having their own this month, so we had our own last month. And I want to thank the Vice President actually for being here. The Vice President was also there, and we had all these big names also that were there because they have investment. But we tested something. We said that if these people are truly investors, if they believe in our state, in Lagos it's easy for him to say that investors, we want you to get gold sponsorship, silver sponsorship, this and that, but not a state like Nasarawa. So for that reason, we say, let us test that. So when we tested that, our entire investment summit for Nasarawa State for last month, which is our 3.0, was sponsored actually by our investors. We did not have 1 naira from Nasarawa State government put into that. And that tells you that the investors now believe in us. As a matter of fact, next month, July 28, I'm being invited to China. One of the companies that is already processing their lithium in Nasarawa State and taking the concentrate, they are now establishing a company that produces the battery in China. And they want me to come and commission that so that they can understand that it's material coming from Nasarawa State. But I'm not stopping at that. I'm inviting them to come to Nasarawa State and establish the same company to take the second stage processing so that we can take it from there. And let me conclude actually by saying that I want to thank my dear friend, he said his state is Lagos, but his state actually is Nasarawa, our Minister of Finance, for actually coming up, using and believing in what the president economic reforms are, and working with that to be, before he became minister, he was actually economic reform troublemaker. So we work with him, and based on that, the reforms have generated so much revenue that today most of the states are able to carry out most of what you see we are doing without borrowing a naira from the bank. So that's why every opportunity I have, I thank Mr. President for taking the bullet on behalf of the states by having those resources in our hands. So for a state like Nasarawa, that I came in 2019, generating just 7 billion in a whole year, which Lagos can generate from Apapa in 3 days. I was in Apapa, so I know Apapa very well. So this is exactly, the issue. So I'm using the opportunity actually, today, by the way, we have tried, last year, 2025, we generated about 39 billion, so we are moving in the right direction. But you see, the idea is that in order for you to go to know where you are going, you must know where you are coming from. You must back them up with a vision. So the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was governor, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I want to thank the governor. I want to thank the governor for sustaining that vision that today we are able to see the Lagos that we are seeing today. So I thank you very, very much, and may God bless you.